Dear students, today we will learn about the module 3 in computer graphics and visualization. Today's topic is about the OpenGL APIs for the lighting and the shading. So it will be including all the illumination and the surface rendering functions. These functions are nothing but the OpenGL APIs. So the first one is the OpenGL point light source function. In the OpenGL point light source function, what we will study is the APIs which are supporting to help us in including a light in the scene. So in the first API which is supporting us to help us to put the point light source in my scenario is the void GL light. This API, it is having three parameters. The first one is the light, the second one is the property name, the parameter what we are going to use, and the last one is the parameters. So when I am using this GL light, the star is nothing but where we can go for the different data types. You can specify these values by using a floating value or by using a integer value. That means you can write it as GL light I or GL light F. So coming to the first parameter, the light, it is going to specify which light. So in a scene we can have maximum 8 lights. So you can specify the light number by making use of the first parameter. So if it is the light number 1, so it will be GL light 0. If it is the light number 2, it will be GL light 1. So like this you can specify. So the last light usually it will be equal to the 7th light. From 0 to 7, totally we will be having 8 lights. So the second parameter, it is the parameter for the light. What type of light do you want? So that is given by the second parameter. So in the second parameter, you can have different type of properties. That is, we know that we are having the constants. By using these constants, you can give the value for the light. It can be an ambient light, it can be a diffuse light, or it can be exponent light. Any of the light that can be given by making use of the second parameter. The third parameter is going to give us a value in terms of a floating number or in terms of an integer. If you are specified as f, you are going to give a floating number value. If you are specified this as I, you are going to give the integer value. So here I am going to give a floating number value. So I am giving GL light f. So the example API GL light f, the first parameter is it is concerned with the light 0. That means the first light. And then I want to have some linear attenuation value. Linear attenuation means in the previous theory we have learned how we can go for attenuating. That means how we can go for reducing or compressing. So that light value I want it to be as 1.5. So you can do that by making use of this API. These are some of the different type of lights. The first one is the ambient. So uniform distribution. Diffuse means we will be having a source as well as ambient. A light source will be there, also ambient will be there. And in the specular, we will be having, by making use of the Pong model or by using any other model, we will go for creating a specular effect. And the fourth one is where we are having combination of the specular, and we also have making use of the Pong equation for creating the effect. So these are some values what we are going to get after we apply the API for an object. These objects here, they are created by making use of the Gouraud shading and the Phong shading. You can see in the Phong shading we are having the specular is more very sharp, where we are having the white light concentrated at one point. That means the shininess is more in the case of the Phong lighting. Whereas in the Gouraud it is very less. The specular effect is less in the Gouraud. Whenever we want to switch on some properties or whenever we want to switch off some properties, we need to make use of GL enable and GL disable. These APIs are usually used with many common properties. So they can be enabled or they can be disabled by making use of the API GL enable and GL disable. So here we will be making use of the general form of the enable and the disable. We'll just make use of the parameter here which is called as a capabilities. So what is this capability? That can be given by an argument in the GL enable or the disable. Example would be, suppose I am enabling a lighting effect. So then I have to give GL enable GL lighting. Suppose I want to switch on the light number 1, then I have to give the GL enable GL light 0. Similarly, if I want to include some material properties, the color material properties in my scenario, then I have to make use of GL enable GL color material. Similarly, the opposite APIs can be written for the disable also. When we want to switch off the light and when we want to remove the color material property, or when we want to go for removing the lighting effect in my scene, you can go for including the API which is called as the GL disable. Now we will see how to specify the light source, position and the type of the light. Whenever we want to specify a light source, its position and the type, we need to make use of the API which is called as the GL light IV. So we know that here the I stands for the integer and V is for the vector. So the last parameter what is there, the value what is there, it can be got from a vector. From an array we are going to extract the values. Along with this API, we also need to have an array. This array, it is going to give us the position and the type. So we'll have a 4-element array in which we'll be having the specifications for the type of the light and also the position where it will be placed. So in this array, the first 3 elements of the vector, it is going to give us the position, and the last one, the last value, it is going to tell what type of a light source are we using. Suppose if we assign the value 0.0 to the 4th element of the vector, that means the light is a very far off one. That means it is very distant one. Otherwise, it is a local point source. That means it is very nearby. If the value is 0.0, it is very far, else it is nearby light source. Here we have the APIs written for 2 lights, that is light 1 and light 2. So to support this GL light FV, we need to have the arrays, that is light 1 position type and the light 2 position type. So in the first one, the light 1 position type array, we have 4 parameters. The first 3 parameters are talking about at which position that light will be present. And the 4th parameter will be either equal to 0 or it will be equal to 1. If it is equal to 0, that means the light is very far. If it is equal to 1, that means the light is nearby. So we'll extend the same thing to the GL light FV. In the GL light FV, the first parameter is which light. So I am talking about the light number 2. So we know that the light numbers start from 0. So 0 is the first light. GL light 1 is the second light. And the second parameter, GL position. For this GL position, I need to have where actually this position will be there. That is given in my position type. So I have to extract the values for this one from my array which is called as a light 1 position type. So because here we are having the 3 parameters on the x value, y value and the z value, y is equal to 0 and the 4th parameter 1 is nothing but it is a nearby source. If it is 0.0 means it is a far off source. So this is the way how we can make use of the light FV. So by using GL enable, I am switching on the light number 2. So in the second also, whenever I am making use of the light FV, it is a good practice to always make use of the GL enable. So we are owning 2 lights over here, that is the light 1 and the light 2. Actually it is light number 2 and light number 3. So we have seen that the light 1 is a local source and the light 2 is a distant source. Sometimes if we don't specify the values, then the default values will be set as 0.0, 0.0, 1.0 and 0.0. The first 3 is for the position, which is going to indicate that this light is in the negative z direction, and the last parameter, it is going to tell that it is a very far away light. Next we will see how we can specify some colors to the light source by making use of the OpenGL APIs. We can have a light source with different color properties, and to give this color properties we are going to make use of this constants, symbolic constants, which are the GL ambient, GL diffuse and GL specular. When the light is uniform, it is GL ambient. When the light is spread, then it is called as a GL diffuse. And when the light is concentrated at one particular place, that is specular, the shiny effect, that is given by the GL specular. Of course, for the light, we need to make use of the red, green and blue. So the fourth parameter here will be equal to alpha. This alpha will be talking about the transparency of the object present in the scene. But this alpha is not activated if you are not making use of the color blending routines. So only if the color has been blended, that routines if you are using, those APIs if you are using, only then this alpha will be useful. Else the alpha will be tending to neutral. In the OpenGL light source color, we can make use of GL light FV for specifying the color. So here you can see there are 5 statements relating to the light. The first two statements, so this is the picture for a diffuse reflection. The diffuse reflection is a combination of one light and then we will be having the ambient also. So the ambient light and a single point source will give rise to the diffuse. In this one, we can see that the Ks is nothing but you are having the specular coefficient. That value is equal to 0 for all the surfaces and for the background lighting. So this is how a diffuse reflection will be seen for the previous picture. In this picture, you can see the combination of the diffuse as well as the specular. Diffuse is where we have one point source as well as the distribution of the light, spreading of the light, and the specular is where you're having shininess. So here we are having a combination of the diffuse as well as the specular. That means you'll be having a point source, a uniform light and also one pointed direction light, which will be giving you the specular effect. Now we will see how we can include some radial intensity attenuation for the OpenGL lights. Whenever a light is traveling, we will see over a distance the light will be getting little diminished. The strength is going to reduce. Okay, that is why we can make use of the attenuation. That means we can approximate at what will be the value. You can apply a constant attenuation, or you can go for a linear attenuation, or you can go for quadratic attenuation. That means you can increase it, or you can go for increasing it at a constant rate, or you can go for a linear increasing, or you can go for increasing very high by making use of the quadratic. And it also depends upon the coefficients what we learned in our equation 2, A0, A1 and A2. So by making use of the positive integers, or you can go for a floating point values, you can set the attenuation coefficients. So you can give some attenuation values and that will be set in your light. What value you want, how much you want to attenuate, that can be set by making use of the API. So before going to the API, so you have to know this formula 2. By making the formula 2, I am going to set my attenuation values. You can see that in here we are having 3 APIs. That is a GL light F, and we are modifying, or we are talking about the light number 7. That is GL light 6. So here we are giving the value GL constant attenuation for the same light. We can give different values of attenuations. So the quadratic attenuation, or if you want the linear attenuation, we can assign some values. So once these assignments have been given, based on this, the ambient, diffuse and specular will be acting on your light source. So if you don't give any specific values over here, the system will take the default values. That is in the formula, A0 will be equal to 1, A1 will be equal to 0 and A2 will be equal to 0. If there is no radial attenuation, that means it is equal to same. That means FL radial attenuation is equal to 1 only. There won't be any change. Now we will see how we can make use of the spotlights. That means when we have the lights on some direction, that is called as the spotlight. Suppose I am having a spotlight. The spotlight, it can be related by 3 ways. That is a direction, or by cutoff, or by exponent. I want to give the effect of a spotlight in terms of its direction and what I want to cut off and how much I want to give the exponent value. So if you want to give the exponent value, that exponent value, it can be between 0 to 128. Some number it should be there. It is fixed for this particular GL exponent because it depends upon the spotlight equation. So only 0 to 128 I can give if it is exponent. GL spot direction means you can specify the integer or a floating point. In a vector you can give what is the direction in terms of the x value, y value and the z value. And then if you're going for a cutoff means you can give in which angle you want. So if you just give 180 degree, then you will see that the light will be spread across all directions. And if you're going to give any range, only in that range the light will be present. So that type of a light is spotlight. By making use of these components, you can highlight some value or you can say some part of the image in your screen. In the scene, you can highlight some objects by making use of this spotlight. In the following set of APIs, we are giving for the light source 3, that is the light number 4, the cone axis is in the positive x direction, the cone angle is at an angle of 30 degree, and the attenuation exponent what we are giving here is 2.5. So the values here what we are going to specify, that will be reflected in your GL light FV. GL light FV means we will be having an array. So in any light F commands, the first one is the light and the second one and the third one, they are related to the effect. So the third parameter and the second parameter, they will be very closely related. That means what type of effect you want to give. You want to give a spotlight, you want to give an ambient light, or you want to give some attenuation, all these things. And what is the value associated with that, that will be in your third parameter. So we are having a direction vector here. So you will have the light number 4, the spot direction is given the direction vector, that is in the positive x-axis. The y and the z are equal to 0. GL light F means the third API GL light F. For the third light only, we are having the cutoff. That means how much we want, only that range, that angle I am going to give by making use of 30 degrees. And exponent value what I want, that is given by 2.5. So GL light and GL light FV, the only difference is FV means we will make use of the vector, and if there is no vector, directly we are going to specify the values in the API itself. So this is the spotlight effect what we can have on an object. So in the scene, if I want to concentrate the light on one particular part of the image, we can make use of the spotlight. So we are having a light source here at the end of the cone over here, and then I am going to have the light coming out of the light source through the cone over here. So the objects which are present within this cone, only they will be getting the light here. So the objects which are far away from this cone, they are not going to get the light effect. So this thing has been reflected in the previous APIs. Now we will see some global lighting APIs. To set a global lighting in your scenario, you can make use of an API which is called as the GL light model. Of course, the star here, it is representing that we can have different type of data, either a floating or an integer, like that we can make use of. GL light model consists of two parameters. The first one is the parameter name and the second one is the parameter value. So depending upon the parameter name and the parameter value, we will be having a global lighting. That means across the scenario, we will be having one global lighting. So that can be set up by making use of this API which is called as the GL model. That is GL light model. Suppose I want to set up a uniform global light. So in that case, I can make use of the GL light model. So GL light model ambient, it is a symbolic constant which we are going to make use of, so that we'll be having globally one uniform light. It is not that we can have the we cannot have the smaller lights. The smaller lights will also be there. Along with that smaller lights, one uniform global light will be present, and that can be done by making use of this GL light model along with the GL light model ambient. So when you give this one, a global ambient light will be on. That means it will be made available along with other small lights what you are given in your program. Even that will be included, but you will be having also one global light. In this API GL light model FV, we have two parameters. The first one is the GL light model. That means we are having a global light, and this global light is having an ambient effect. So that is given in my constant. We will be having a symbolic constant here, GL light model ambient. And the second parameter, In the ambient, we know that it will be having a combination of red, green and blue. So how much of what type of color you need? The uniform light will be there because you have the ambient. But what amount of ambience is required, that is given in your array, which is called as the global ambient. So you can see here we have the blue component, that is equal to 0.3. So the light blue color, it will be in your scene. A light blue color will be globally distributed among all the objects in your scene when you apply this API. GL light model, FV GL light model ambient, global ambient. Because in the global ambient you are having a low intensity blue color. So of course the last value, alpha value, now it can be ignored. The alpha value here, it is taken as 1.0. For every OpenGL API, certain default values will be there. So for the GL light model I, we will be having a vector called as V. We know that the V is for the viewing vector. So in the which direction the viewer will be present, that values will be present in a vector called as V. The default value where the viewer will be present in my GL light model I, in the case of a global lighting, is given in the Z direction. That means here the x value will be 0, y is 0, but the z is equal to 1. So if I don't want to use this default value and I want to calculate my view by making use of the present values, what is present in the scenario, what is present in the array now, when present situation, what will be the value, if I want to calculate that and I don't want to take the default value, then you can do that by making use of the GL light model I, GL light model local viewer. When you give this local viewer, you will be taking the values from your local viewer vector and you will be not taking it from the default value. And you can switch on or switch off the calculations for the local viewer by making use of the GL true and the GL false. If you use the GL true, that means you are going for the calculations. The surface calculations will be newly made. If you don't want to make new calculations, you can set this as GL false. So the GL light model I, in this case, it is calculating a new viewer value, that is for the vector V, by making use of the present values. It is not taking the default values. It is overriding the default values and it is setting its own values. So this GL light model I, it is very specific. I don't know if we have not learned the theory for this, where exactly this will be used. But actually what is happening here is we are combining two colors. That is, we are having the specular and the non-specular. So the thing is, for a when you are having some pattern and all, when you try to modify, so if you are adding that to a non-specular color, only then the color will be combined properly. So we will leave out the specular and we will only go for the non-specular color. For the non-specular color, when we combine and the effect of the two color option if you want to see, then you should make use of this GL light model I. Of course, this is also for the global lighting. In the global lighting, you will be having two colors. And these two colors are separate from the specular. That means whatever is specular, we are not going to modify. Which is not specular. So that is why we are having here GL separate specular color. So the picture, when we have certain patterns, this API is very specific. It is specific to some texture pattern. So when we do combine two color options, then we have to make use of the two symbolic constants here. That is the model color control and the separate specular color. But the default value for this is the GL single color. So it will not separate the specular and non-specular. So, but in my GL light model I, here I am going to separate the two colors. That means I am going to talk about only the specular and the non-specular, and then I am going to combine this and I am going to get a two color option. The lighting properties are usually applied only for the front faces. But suppose you want to apply for both the front face as well as for the back face, then we can make use of this GL light model I, GL light model two side. So then what happens, we will be having the effect on the front face as well as the back face. Suppose if you want to turn off for the two-sided lighting, then we can make use of the GL false. If you make use of the GL false, you are going to reverse the effect. So now we will see some reflection coefficients and optical properties for a surface. For the surfaces, we will be having the API called as the GL material. The GL material is having three parameters. So the first parameter is which face, whether the materials, we are concentrating on the materials front face or the back face or both these faces, that is given by the first parameter. Next we have the surface parameter. This surface parameter can be the surface intensity, which is called as the ISURF, or it can be the ambient reflection coefficient Ka, or it can be the diffuse reflection coefficient Kd, or it can be the specular reflection coefficient Ks, or it can be the specular reflection exponent Ns. And then the last value will be what is the value. That means it can be a floating number or it can be integer value. You're going to specify the value. So the material property can be described in terms of these three parameters. Of course, the star here indicates that it can be integer or a floating point, and we can also make use of a V, that is a vector, where you can store the property value. Directly you can give the property value with some integer value or some floating point value, or you can take it from an array by making use of a vector. The GL material FV, the first parameter is the surface. So here we are concentrating on the front surface. The second one is what type of an effect, that means what property. So here we are concentrating on emission. I want to have an emission effect. And what will be its emission value, that is given in the next, that is called as the surface emission color. Again, the surface emission color, it is a combination of the red, green and blue along with the alpha. So here we are going to set the emission color for a front surface to a light gray color. That is why we are making use of this GL material FV. The default emission color, it is black, where we have 0.0, 0.0, 0.0. Although the emission color, it can be assigned to the surface, this emission is not like a property of the light where it is going to illuminate other objects. It will not illuminate. There will be just a emission. That means a color will be emitted, but it is not going to illuminate other objects in the scene. That type of effect is called as a emission. So for a material, we are going to give a light gray color for the front surface. The front surfaces will be having the light gray color when you are going to make use of this GL material FV. Here an example of the material which is combining different surfaces, or it is combining front and back surfaces and giving different type of ambient and diffuse effect. Here we are setting a light blue color and it is illuminated with a white light, and the specular reflection will be having the value as 25.0, and the specular reflection is nothing but the color of the incident light. The GL material FV, the first one is the surface. It is considering both the front and the back surface. For the front and the back surface, I am giving some ambient and the diffuse light. And this ambient and diffuse light, it is been defined in my diffuse coefficient array. So in the diffuse coefficient array, what values we are having, that values will be reflected in your ambient and diffuse. Similarly, for the front and back surfaces, again I am going to give a specular effect, the specular light. That means a concentrated shininess effect, and that value is given in your specular coefficient. And the shininess also I am going to add to my front and back surfaces by giving the direct value 25. The shininess is equal to 25. So in this API, in this set of APIs here, we are making a modification in the scene for all the front and back surfaces of the objects with respect to the ambient, diffuse, specular as well as the shininess. All these properties we are going to add to the scene. Every object will be having some amount of ambient, some amount of diffuse, specular also, and also we are adding the shininess. So shininess value, if you go on increasing, then your object will be having more shiny effect. So here the effect what we are giving here, it is equal to the value in terms of 25.0. Surface lighting effect is given by the OpenGL illumination model APIs. The APIs which are used for the illumination, they are taken from the model 19, and in that model the ambient light level, it is the sum of the light source ambient components and the global ambient. It is a combination of both the local as well as the global. In the diffuse, we are going to consider the diffuse component of all the light sources, and specular reflections are going to be calculated by making use of each of the light source in the scene. So we have a vector called as V, which is for the viewer. It is going to specify the direction to a viewing position, and it can be set to constant value if the local viewer option is not used. That means if you are not having any specific value, you can just give it as the origin, that is 0, 0 and 0. So these are coming under the illumination model and surface rendering methods, which is from the basic illumination model 19. That means all these illumination APIs what we are studying, they are coming from the illumination model 19. In the OpenGL, that is one version. From there all these have been picked and it has been given to you. Now we will see some special APIs which will add some atmospheric effect. Atmospheric effect means we will see the foggy effect and all, how we can create. We can give some hazy or a foggy effect for one scene if I am making use of an API which is called as the GL fog. GL fog will be having two parameters, that is what is the atmospheric parameter that is given in the first one, and second one is what is its value, the atmospheric value, what is its value, that is given in the second parameter. We can make use of an integer or a floating, and of course we can also take from an array which is called as the V. So the GL fog color can be used in atmospheric parameter. So one symbolic constant what we can make use of is the GL fog color. But before going to this GL fog, make sure that you have to make use of GL enable. If you don't enable the fog effect by using this GL fog, the next GL API will not be helpful. Only when you go for enabling, then only you can go for the fog. So this is one example where the enable should be given before any API, this specific API. If you want some fog effect, you need to enable that fog effect and then go for the type of value and what value you want to give, that will be given in the GL fog. So here you can see the fog color has been given. The fog color is specified by GL fog color. That is the first parameter which is called as the atmospheric parameter, and the second one is the amount of color what you want to give. So it is taken from an array here. That is why we have V in the GL fog FV. And this atmospheric color array, it is having red, green equal, blue is equal to 1. So it will be somewhat like a bluish gray color effect. The fog effect will be given in your scene. If you don't specify these values, by default the fog color will be black color. Along with the atmosphere effect, you can also specify the attenuation. That means you can increase or decrease this foggy effect. That is called as the attenuation. For doing this, we make use of the GL fog along with GL fog mode and atmospheric attenuation function. So this GL fog mode, that is the mode. That means I want the combination of the atmosphere as well as the attenuation. What value you want, that is given by the atmospheric attenuation function. This atmospheric attenuation function, like based on the theory, it can be taken as e to the power of minus sigma d, or it can be sigma d square. So this atmospheric attenuation function, it can be calculated by just to the power of 1, or it can be doubled. It can be the exponent square. So this is made use of in the theory. That means in the theory what we have, for the fog effect, the atmospheric effect, this will be given into your API, and in this API these calculations will be applied, and then you are going to get the fog effect. But this fog effect is different from the previous one, where here we are having a combination of the attenuation. That means you are going to have some value increasing or decreasing in terms of the attenuation. We can go for including a fog density by making use of the GL fog density symbolic constant. So here the atmospheric density value is taken from, directly we can give the value by making use of the atmospheric density. The GL fog density, it is combining, it is blending the atmosphere as well as the surface color. That means one uniform color will be there, the atmosphere color will be there. Along with the atmosphere color, there will be surface color. So it is going to combine both these, and like when you look through the fog in the early morning, when you see the fog and all, no, when you see some objects through the fog, you will see that you will be having a combination of the color of the object as well as the fog. So that effect can be reflected when you go for the GL fog, that is GL fog density and the atmospheric density. For this particular API, the basis, I mean the formula what they have considered is the 33. So by making use of the object, I of the object, the intensity of the object, the intensity of the atmosphere, both of them are combined here, and then I am going to get my fog effect. So the fog of the atmosphere can be calculated, or the total intensity of this scene, it will be depending upon the atmospheric intensity as well as the object intensity along with the fog effect. So three things are over here. All these three things will be combined and you are going to get a fog effect. Now we will understand some things which are related to the alpha. We are being talking about the alpha many times, but actually we didn't know what actually this alpha is. So now we will see what is this alpha. So whenever we had the GL material or the GL color, in these places we had this RGB. R for the red and green and blue, and A was for the transparency, that is the alpha value. This alpha value, by default, if you are having a transparent means the value will be equal to 1, and if it is opaque means the value will be equal to 0.0. So we know that this won't be effective until unless we don't have a blending function. So this alpha value what we have, this is called as the transparency coefficient, like how we had the ambience coefficient for the diffuse coefficient and the specular coefficient. Similarly, we are having this transparency coefficient. So whenever we are making use of the GL color and all these places, we will be having the alpha. That alpha is standing for the transparent value. How much the body is transparent, how much the object is opaque, that can be got by this A value. Whenever we need to have the transparency effect, we need to have a blending function. So that is given by the GL blend function. So here we have the GL blend function, which is having the parameters 2, that is GL1 minus source alpha, GL source alpha. I am telling here all the color components on my current surface, they have to be multiplied by 1 minus alpha. So you can give, it is given here GL1 minus source alpha. So it is multiplied by 1 minus alpha, and all the color components of the corresponding frame buffer, they will be multiplied by a factor which is called as KT, that is alpha again. So if you want to have this effect, then you have to give the GL blending function. When you are doing this GL blending, you need to enable the GL blend. Only then the effect will be seen. When this happens, then the source object and the frame buffer what we are having the value, both of them will be blended with the alpha parameter which is set to the transparency coefficient. So the frame buffer colors, now it will be reflected onto the surface, and we are going to see the transparent object which is being processed. That means this is how the theory of the transparency is going to work. So we have a source and we have the object in my scene here, and what should be going to the frame buffer? We know that in the frame buffer, just before displaying whatever is being displayed, it will be stored. So in the frame buffer, when you give the value here, multiply by this alpha value, so then it will be multiplied and you are going to get a output where the color, when you see, look at the color, all this is nothing but the effect, the color effect. So it will look like a transparent object. How much it should be transparent, it depends upon the value of the KT, that is the transparency coefficient. So that value is specified in your GL blend function, and when you multiply this, the effect will be seen in your scenario. This is how the alpha is going to work. So on some examples, you may have to use this API for making some object transparent. So in that case, you have to give the values. You have to give the values in the GL blend function. And of course, don't forget to enable it by making use of the GL enable. Only when you enable, only then this property will be set over here. So it depends upon the alpha value. You have to set some alpha value. You have to go for 1 minus that a and then go for multiplying it. So what you want to do, whether you want to go for addition, whether you want to go for subtraction, all these things you can give in your blending function. So the current surface will be blended. All the color component of the current surfaces, they will be multiplied and it will be transferred into your frame buffer position. To render the surfaces, you can make use of the API GL shade model. Here the surface rendering method, it will be equal to GL flat if you are going for a constant intensity rendering method, or else it will be equal to GL smooth if you are using a Gouraud shading. Suppose if you are doing this for a sphere will be having multiple small polygons. So if you are rendering a polygon, if you are rendering a sphere by using these polygons over here, so in this case we should make use of the surface normal vectors and we have to calculate the polygon color. Then this will be displayed appropriately. So the GL shade model is used for displaying any surfaces. That means if you want to go for either the flat or for the smooth. So here we have a glass which is the mesh in the first case, whereas it has been rendered by using a flat surface rendering in the second case, and in the third one you can see it is done by using Gouraud rendering. Of course the Gouraud rendering is the best one, and the second one we have the flat surface rendering. When we go for a flat surface rendering, we only have to set the rendering at one place, that is the surface normal at one place. So here we have one polygon which is called as a triangle. The triangle is consisting of 3 vertices, vertex 1, vertex 2 and vertex 3. But the flat surface here, because we are using a flat surface rendering, the normal what we have, the GL normal 3FV, we can give it only at the one place and it will be applied for the entire polygon. In half-toning operations, we'll try to represent an image by using less space. If I am representing my pixel by using less number of bits, then we can go for half-toning. That means the entire image, it will not occupy much space. When we are falling short of the space, the same image, it can be represented by using less number of pixels or less number of information on that pixel. That can be done by using the half-toning. If I want to activate the half-toning, I should make use of GL enable, GL dither. And if I want to off this particular property, then you can go for the GL disable. The half-toning routine, it will be deactivated. Here we can see an image which is a continuous tone. That means the A picture what we have, it is a continuous tone, an image of a lady. So the same thing, can we reduce the number of bits per pixel and then we can be able to see the same type of image? Is that possible? That is being done in the half-toning. So you can see here in the B, we are having the same image, but it is represented only in terms of 2 intensity value, that is black and white. But the picture is not very clear. When you come for C, you can see that the A has been represented by using 4 intensity levels. So we have 2 gray values, 1 black and 1 white. So somewhat we can make out. There is some resemblance we can make out. But when you go for the D, you can see we have 8 intensity levels. So the picture is clear in the D. The A picture is clear in the D. So whenever you are having, we can go for lesser number of space occupying, or you can go for lesser number of bits per a pixel. In that case, half-toning comes to our help. Instead of using the full tone, we can just go for half of it. That means some of it. That is called as the half-toning operation. I can enable that by using the GL dither and I can disable it. making use of the GL enable or the GL disable. So these operations are called as the half toning operations. So these are some of the APIs which are used in your lighting and shading. Maybe everything we are not going to make use of in the projects and all. Maybe some of them. All these are customized. It depends which actually you want to use and which you want to give the effect and all. It depends on that. And then based on that you can go for selecting any of the APIs. But if you know the basics of the APIs, you can use it anywhere. So these are some of the links what I found on the internet which will be helping in your this particular lighting and shading. And also all my videos are being put up on my YouTube channel which is related to the module 3. So here we close the module 3 and in the next class we are going to start with module 4. So that is the end of the session for today. Thank you.